So my motto for this account is full speed ahead. Just go full speed ahead and try to get as much done as possible on this account. And I am doing just that because we have completed Act 6 Chapter 3. Now I was really nervous because Act 6 Chapter 3 has the hardest boss in the game in my opinion, which is Captain America Infinity War. So that was the biggest issue at hand, but also the other bosses are pretty dang annoying. There is Nick Fury, who is just debuff immune. There is this Medusa here who has buffet. There is the Havoc. There is the Mysterio, the Iron Man Infinity War. Like, they are all pretty tough bosses to deal with, right? So I was nervous here, man. I expected to maybe even wipe out, like, resource-wise from 6.3. But the result was honestly a lot better than I thought. So here we have Medusa. Now, Medusa has Do You Bleed? And Symbiote Supreme against buff heavy characters has some pretty insane bleed damage, so this fight is really good for him, but also is pretty scary because, you know, it's a boss fight with my rank 3 Symbiote Supreme. And a weird thing, the Medusa boss in this quest has like pretty much 0 health. Not 0 health, but like a lot less health than the other bosses. I think she had about 170 something thousand. And it's crazy because the Black Bolt before her, which isn't the boss, had like 250,000. So he had more health than the final boss of the chapter, or the quest, sorry, which is really weird in my opinion. But if she had more health, she'd be a much harder boss, so I'm kind of happy about it. So yeah, no complaints here. But yeah, the block damage is pretty crazy for this boss fight because keep in mind, this is a rank 3 unboosted Symbiote Supreme, and there I just do not survive that combo unfortunately, but hey, first attempt, not too bad at all, and here is my first revive on 6.3. Is it the first of many revives? Let's find out, but here we have the final try against this Medusa boss. I went in with low health, which was pretty worrying, but Symbiote Supreme is just crazy against these cosmic characters, so it really wasn't too much of a worry. And here I can drop the SP3, just wrap up the fight hopefully, and then be done with the first boss of 6.3. Medusa, I feel like she is the easiest of the bosses if you have the right counter. If you don't, then you just cannot do the boss whatsoever, so keep that in mind. She might be easy with the counter, but without a counter, she is by far the hardest one, because yeah, you just can't do damage to her pretty much. But this fight is just about wrapped up. One more combo, the bleeds do the work, and that just ends it. So quest 1 is done, not too shabby at all. Now it's time for quest 2. Now quest 2 is a lot more difficult because this is a stun immune, not even stun immune, debuff immune Nick Fury. And if you can't tell, pretty much all of my champions are debuff heavy characters, which is a big worry obviously. Like, how am I going to do damage to him? And the answer is by doing this the very, very hard way, which is just not even caring and just doing regular hits, just getting hit as well, like right there, which is super fun. But yeah, this was just a miserable time. A super long boss fight, and yeah, he is going down, but going down really slowly as well. And honestly, I was going to rank up a mutant champion for this boss fight, but I just chose not to because my gold is really tight because I want to rank 3 Sandman, or any champion, I don't know just yet, but I want to rank 3 a champion with the 7.7 million 2 to 3 generic gem, and that costs, you know, 7.7 million gold, so I can't really afford to sacrifice any gold at all. So I want to just take it slow, just use what I have right now, and if that doesn't work, then maybe I rank up a champion. But as of now, I'm just gonna pass. I'm just gonna use what I have, and what I have right now is just a not fun time because oh my gosh, Nick Fury is just terrible without a non-debuff champion. So my next try here is with CGR, and CGR, he's so crazy. But like, even with armor break immunity, he still has so much damage output. Like, the Fury buff does so much damage still. It is crazy. Like, he's just way too good, man. But here I drop a combo, I drop the relic, pretty nice damage output there, and we're kind of just chilling, man. Like, it's a slow fight still for sure, but he still gets it done pretty well. but we're getting close to the second life, which is just a breath of fresh air because he will just degen a ton of health at once, which is what I want. I want that to happen. I need it to happen pretty much. And there I get clipped, but Heimdall saves me, thankfully. Heimdall is a massive factor in this run as well because Heimdall is just a cheat code, man. He gives you that cheat death, which is super, super strong. And here I drop him to his second life, but then I mess up here because I dropped the SP1, but then Empowered Immunity kind of just ends it for me. So that kind of stinks, but hey, it was a good try for sure. But now we have Omega Sentinel here, and she does it. She like clears the fight out for me because she gets a massive help from the big degen damage that he's taken, which is always a nice time. Yeah, but this Nick Fury boss was super annoying, but at least it was itemless, right? That's important because I want to save my items for that really annoying Captain America Infinity War boss, who I still think is by far the worst boss in this game. But yeah, this fight is a slow one, obviously. Like, Omega Sentinel needs debuffs to do damage, so this is going to be a pretty slow time, but she still does it. She still does pretty decent. Just kidding, look at that, I took a combo and that really did a number on me, man. So here I dropped the Relic Stun just for a safety net, and the crits are looking nice, man. 1.6 thousand, like calm down Omega Sentinel, that's a bit too crazy. But yeah, there I take the SP1, no big deal. But yeah, the fight's almost done. I get the intercept, which is great. He gets pushed to 2 bars of power, which is perfect, and this fight is wrapped up. Now that wasn't too bad at all. It was a slog for sure. It was a ton of like fight time, but hey, we got the no item takedown, which is perfect. And now we have this Havoc fight. Now I was boosted here because gotta play it safe, and my plan was to just wipe out my team and then use Omega Sentinel for the finish, but something happens instead that is pretty sweet. But here I just played that so poorly. I missed the SP2 for some reason. I just did that terribly. But here I use Cassie Lang. Also, do not expect that much, just is Cassie Lang. She's a great champion, but for Havoc, not ideal in the slightest. But she does pretty decent here, like not too bad at all. He plays passive, which is unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. But I do more damage here than I was thinking, and that had me thinking about Sandman. I was like, okay, maybe Sandman can do decent here as well. And you're going to see after this fight that Sandman does pretty decent, alright. But here he drops SP2, we have some power sinks on, which is perfect. And the quartered node gives us a ton of extra combat power rate, so we can just utilize that for the increased special attack, so we can just get more power sync damage. But there I missed the dex and I just messed up big time. So I was like, wow, that stinks. But we have Sandman, who is last. And let's see what Sandman does here. Rank 1 Sandman, level 1 Sandman at that as well. So do not know how this will turn out because it is a very low level character against a really high powered Act 6 boss. So I was nervous, obviously, because Sandman has a lot to prove, to say the least. He has a ton to prove with his overall value, and I want to prove to y'all that he is a great champion. So let's see how he does in this fight. Now, it is a slow start, of course, because Sandman needs ramp up. He really does want the ramp. But once he gets going, it is just super impressive how good his damage output is. So let's take it slow here. Let's get Unstable up, which is perfect. And let's see how he does in this scenario. So I dropped the SP3 for the 50 physical vulnerabilities, and that would just skyrocket our damage now. So the damage output is looking pretty good. That last burst was like, what? Let's see, 15,000? Not bad in the slightest. So we want to build back up to that and just keep using the SP2, SP3 to build up that damage output. And the best part is, Sandman isn't a crit reliant character, so we don't feed him any plasmas either. So I was just surprised with how well he was taking this boss, because in like theory, it sounds like he would just die to it pretty much immediately, but no, he's doing good. He is doing his job very, very well. So the next Unstable is going to come up soon, which means we can drop the SP3 and hope for some pretty good damage output. But we got to bait out the SP2 first, just for some safety, which he throws pretty much instantly, which is perfect. Not complaining about that in the slightest. So here I get the parry going. I dropped the SP3, and now it is time for our next set of damage. But I didn't think about this clearly, and I pushed him to 3 bars of power. Now, that is scary, obviously, so I panic here, I drop the relic, and then I go back in, and I'm just panicking yet again, because yeah, look at that, man, I just don't know what to do. So here, he drops the SP3, and I'm like, wait a second, why am I worried? I have Heimdall. So Heimdall comes in the clutch right there, I drop the SP2, and that ends the fight, and Sandman is honestly just such a good champion. You'll love to see it. Omega Sentinel, not even needed, because Sandman was there to just do pretty much all of the work. So that is quest 3 done, and now it's time for quest 4, and quest 4 is such a clean boss solo. We have this Iron Man Infinity War, and Iron Man Infinity War is of course super annoying still, but Cassie Lang is one of the best counters to him. Now, I play this terribly, I mess up there big time, and he like gives me mercy, which thankfully he does that. But yeah, besides that really bad start, it was a pretty good boss solo overall. So here I dropped the heavy attack the proper way, and with Iron Man here, Cassie's so good for him because his SP1 gives her 3 of her PIM charges. And this is vital for maintaining her power stings and her taunt. So yeah, she is just such a great counter to Iron Man Infinity War. And the best part is, the power stings just rip through him. All the armor in the world, doesn't care, power sting is just that good. It is just such a strong ability, and it just destroys Iron Man. So yeah, this fight is going pretty well. We're not ramped up just yet, but that's fine. Like, no rush yet. The fight just got started. But we dropped the SP1 again for that really good taunt, and the taunt puts in a ton of work because Iron Man at base already loves his SP1. He throws it all the time for whatever reason, but with a taunt, it's pretty much a guarantee. Like, he will always throw it. Like, check that out. He just throws it instantly, man. It's such a nice time. But yeah, Cassie Lang, she's starting to grow on me for sure. Like, she is just such a powerful champion. The power stings, I didn't realize how good they are. And once you like use them to bypass a damage reduction, for example, armor ups, or just like, I don't even know what else can reduce your damage. Armor up, physical resistance, energy resistance. Once you use power stings to bypass those, you realize just how good the ability is overall. And yeah, he is going down fast at this point. Once we're built up, the power stings are pretty nasty, man. Like, it does a lot of damage. And the best part is, Iron Man has his 15% phase, which means he gains a ton of power. And that used to be a really hard time for pretty much any champion, right? But check this out. The power gain, it does him dirty. It messes him up because he is just throwing the SP1s and he is just melting. And there was probably the easiest boss solo that I've ever done in Act 6. That was just such a straightforward time. And Cassie Lang is just such a strong champion. Power Sting is just such a good ability as well. But now we have this Mysterio boss, and this Mysterio boss is no laughing matter. He is a tough fight for sure. He has tunnel vision, which is super annoying. Tunnel vision is by far one of the worst nodes out there because every time you hit the opponent, if you do a double action, like the same action twice, you get faltered, and that falter is just annoying because it stays there until you do an attack. So you have to miss, like there is no option, you have to miss the attack, which is not fun in the slightest. But CGR has Vigilance, which is perfect. But then there's Matador, and Matador is not a fun node in the slightest. It means you can't do the CGR rotation, which is, you know, his main thing, so it just leads to a very unfun time. But he still does really well in this fight. Like, he arm breaks Mysterio at the start of the fight, so you pretty much counter him instantly, which is always a nice time. But yeah, not too bad. I was scared of this boss, but then I realized that CGR is his best counter, so I shouldn't have been that scared. It still is a scary champion to fight, though, don't get me wrong. Like, Mysterio is super annoying, and I know with experience that, yeah, Mysterio can mess you up in, like, Battlegrounds, Alliance War, you name it, he is pretty annoying to deal with. But yeah, the solo, Didn't happen, unfortunately. It is what it is. We can just finish off with anyone here. No big deal. But yeah, another no revive takedown of a boss. Pretty proud of that, man. I am pretty proud of that. And there was the final combo, and that is Quest 5 done. And now I just want to apologize because my recording failed for the majority of this boss fight. And I am so sorry about that. Like, if you want to redo the fight for like a guide, I will gladly do it because Cassie Lang is by far one of the best counters to this boss fight. And this was a no revive takedown of Captain America Infinity War. Just insane, man. I couldn't believe it myself either. I was like, did I really just take this guy down without a single revive? And I did. Somehow I did it. So 6.3 done in one revive. That one revive against Medusa was the only revive in this entire run, which is insane, man. But yeah, Cassie Lang and Sandman just both super good in 6.3. My MVP's there for this run for sure. But now let's celebrate. So I have some cabs here to open from the rewards, and hopefully just something decent here. Any good 5-star champion, any good 6-star champion, just something decent, please. And we lands on a, hopefully something good. Well, it is a 5-star at least, but it's also Daredevil, which is fine. He is a cool character, so it is what it is. I have a ton of 2 to 3 skill gems, so he'll probably get one eventually, to be honest. It's really come down to that. Like, I have too many skill gems and not enough skilled champions, so it is what it is. But there, we land on a 5-star Archangel. That is a game changer, no matter how you view it. That is so insane, man. Archangel is a staple in this game for a reason. He is just insane. So pulling a 5-star version is a game changer, no doubt. And here it lands on a 4-star version of Human Torch. It's okay, you know, 4-star Torch still has a ton of value, in my opinion, so I'll take it. So now we have a free crystal to claim, so let's do that real quick, and then let's move on to the next part of the opening. We have some gems to open. We have a 2 to 3 and a 3 to 4 gem. Hopefully something good here, please. I have a good champ in every class except for skill, so just please not skill. And we land on a, looks pretty good, just kidding, a skill one. That is my 3rd skill gem, I believe, which is so fun. Yeah, my 3rd skill gem, man. I have like 3 skill 5-star characters, and I don't really want to rank up any of them. So that's a very fun time. I am really pleased with that. Just kidding. It is a miserable time. Hopefully something here to make up for it though. Just please, anything but skill. Just not skill, please. And we land on a skill gem. How amazing is that, guys? I can't anymore. Like, that's so crazy. So I'm like, you know what? Right now it's currently mutant and skill day. So let me just buy some of these crystals to hopefully get a mutant or skill champion, especially a skill champion, and just please give me something decent here, man. Mcoc Gray, Hitmonkey, Crossbones, just any great skill character. There is Hitmonkey, please come back. Just kidding. Cyclops, new Xavier School. How fun is that, man? So far, not so good for this opening. Like, there is Archangel, who is pretty cool, but I need something better, man. I need a good redemption after those miserable gem pools. So here it lands on a 5-star version of Old Man Logan. Now, that is ISO, so you know what? Not even mad about that. Give me the ISO. I will take that for sure. Like, any dupe is amazing on this account because I want that ISO desperately. But now it is time for the 6-star crystal. So this opening has been okay so far, but I need something good here to redeem it, to make it worth all the effort. And just please, a good and useful 6-star champion. A dual threat is ideal, but a good attacker is even better because I'm focusing on story content now. And the reel looks pretty good. There's Valkyrie, there's Stark Spidey, a lot of great champions in this reel. So it stops. There is I-Bomb, there is Venom, and we'll land on a 6-star version of Archangel. That is insane. That is a game-changing pull. Even unawakened, still one of the best damage outputs in the game. So I'm in disbelief. I'm just in absolute disbelief, man. A 6-star Archangel? That is insane. That is such a good pull, man. But yeah, 6.3 is done. Craziness, man. Only one revive too, and my reward for it was a 6-star Archangel. So good. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this completion run. If you want a guide, let me know as well. And yeah, that's about it for me.